Hi everyone, my name's Diabutor, and today I'm going to show you where to find every larval tier in Elden Ring. Our first larval tier is located at the southern tip of Limgrave. Heading east from the First Step side of Grace, we pass by the Seaside Ruins side of Grace, and find the Ag Hill Lake South side of Grace, which is located just north of the Forlorn Hound Everjail. Directly to the east of that side of Grace, we find this wandering noble overlooking the road. I recommend stocking up on sleep pots before doing any of these, because a lot of these enemies will turn into giant bears or giant lobsters, which are pretty tough to fight and are vulnerable to sleep. Upon killing the noble, he will transform into a giant bear. Now you'll see here I hit it with a sleep pot. It goes to sleep and then I roll into it, and since I'm wearing the Briar armor, that hit it and woke it back up. But then it went right back to sleep because it was still in the cloud. So be careful not to hit it once it falls asleep. Upon killing the bear, we receive the larval tear. In case you don't have the recipe for sleep pots, here's where you can find them. So from the Mistwood Outskirts side of Grace, now that side of Grace can be found if you head east from the gate front, go over the bridge and then follow the road north. From the Mistwood Outskirts side of Grace, go over the archway that has Kenneth Height on it, and this corpse sitting up on top of a grave in the graveyard will have the cookbook for that. On the bottom right here, you see my really bad map about how to find the Siofra River well. That's in the Mistwood. So our next larval tier is located in the Siofra River, being sold by a merchant. After that, we're heading to the Albinauric Village in Liurnia of the Lakes. If you don't know how to get here, you can reach it by following the road north from the lake-facing cliff side of Grace behind Stormvale. Follow this large cliff thing to the west, and underneath the enormous plateau, you'll find the Albinauric Village. From the side of Grace, head around the well to the northeast. In this little graveyard with a whole bunch of Albinaurics, behind one of the graves, is a larval tier. Back at lake level, to the north of the Albinauric Village is the Folly on the Lake side of Grace under a little gazebo, and then there's the Albinauric Village, and then to the northeast of that is another gazebo. Once we clear the tree line, we'll be able to see the other gazebo. Sleeping next to it are 3 lobsters. We don't want to fight them, so try not to aggro them because they're pretty tough. To the west of that, there's going to be a lobster that's awake, and that one is the one we need to kill to drop the larval tier. So this one starts out as a lobster, and as you can see, they're really vulnerable to sleep. So if you have any trouble killing the lobster itself, then you can use your sleep pots. But after that, it turns into a grafted scion. These guys are also vulnerable to sleep, but I don't think they get the 60-second sleep animation. I think it's just the quick stun animation that they get. They are also vulnerable to bleed and frostbite, so you can use those to your advantage too. But upon killing it, we receive the larval tier. Up next, we're going to head up to Caria Manor to grab 2 larval tiers, but a prerequisite for one of them is to have the painting from the Artist Shack in Liurnia of the Lakes. So as you can see, from the lake-facing cliffs, there's these gravestones that you can drop down on the cliffside, and then you can follow the road all the way up to the north and reach the Artist Shack. And then in the Artist Shack, grab the Resurrection painting. After that, we're heading up to Caria Manor on the northwest end of Liurnia. If you haven't already been here and you need a shortcut to get here, you'll see on the bottom right corner, from the Artist Shack, you can head south to the site of Grace on the bridge, and then to the northwest of that, there's 2 gazebos. The gazebo that's more to the west has a teleporter that will take you to the King's Realm ruins, and then from there you can head north to Caria Manor. You will also have to kill Royal Knight Loretta at Caria Manor. She's weak to lightning damage and pierce damage. And then from the Royal Moongazing Ground side of Grace, as you saw, we head around the corner and come over here to where these Albinaurics are, and we can find the ghost of the painter and grab his reward. Now, in case you just need a little extra hint to be able to find this, you'll see there's like 3 rock formations on the map. This horizontal one is the one that has the painter's ghost. We can get the second larval tier by heading south from the Royal Moongazing Grounds, so come out of the door and take a left. Follow it to the cliffside and you'll find this blue scarab. And then, obviously, you can see this tower that we're going to jump down onto. This is a no torrent area. There's the scaffolding here, so if you just slowly walk, you can just walk down onto it. You don't need to jump, so be careful not to jump off to your death. Go down the scaffolding, and then there's a hole in the floor here. Here we can talk to Pitia, the Albinauric servant, and he sells a second larval tier. After that, we're heading to Caelid to grab the larval tier to the west of the Cathedral of Dragon Communion. So you see here, there's the cathedral, there's a site of grace to the north of it, and then you can just follow the main road through Caelid to get here. On the road, in between the road itself and the cathedral, is the dragon Exikes, so he can be pretty tough because he's a Scarlet Rot Dragon, but you can avoid him entirely and just head to the graveyard over here. All the way at the western end of the graveyard is a noble with a hat. Kill him and he turns into a giant troll. Now, trolls are really weak to sleep, and all status effects for that matter, so you can just hit him with a single sleep pot and put him to sleep. And then, instead of doing the riposte, I recommend doing attacks on his head, because that happens, and once he dies, he will give you a larval tier. After that, we're heading to the Outer Wall Battleground site of grace in the Altus Plateau. We're going to come out the nearby gate and follow the wall to the left. After a little while, we'll come to these ruins over here. Inside the ruins, in the corner, is a cowering, wandering noble. If you kill him, he will turn into a giant lion. The lions are not vulnerable to sleep. They can be put to sleep, but they only get like a short stun animation. They don't actually fall asleep for 60 seconds like the bears do. So I would recommend using your sleep pots on them. They are weak to slash damage and to fire damage, so try those if you're having trouble killing this guy. After that, we're heading to the Road of Iniquity site of grace at Mount Gelmir. If you come out the door from Volcano Manor, you'll see you can go north and then make a left and follow the road down, and that'll take you down to the site of grace. Alternatively, if you're coming up through Mount Gelmir, it's right after the full-grown Falling Star Beast. And you can see here, this is the road from Altus Plateau through Mount Gelmir. This is an explosive putrid corpse that will turn into a giant worm face upon killing it. The worm face has Death Blight, and it also has a grab that can do a ton of damage to you. So be careful not to get grabbed, and be careful not to die from Death Blight. Using items to raise your vitality can help with that, like the Prince of Death's Pustule, or Rejuvenating Boluses. You'll see this is his grab here. The hitbox on it can be pretty fucked up. It's really something you just have to learn. You saw me go under his legs before he actually did it, but he can do like a combo where he does it like 3 or 4 times in a row, and he can pivot while he's doing that. So just give it a few tries. If you don't kill him on your first try, just try again. Up next, we're heading to Nokron, Eternal City, to grab 4 more larval tiers. In order to get here, you need to kill General Radahn. In the description, you'll find a link to my guide about reaching and killing Radahn, so if that's something you need help with, feel free to check that out. To get our first larval tier in Nokron, we're going to head out the site of grace, and then into this little cathedral here, where there's a couple guys guarding a larval tier. After that, take the staircase down to this little gazebo. Now, at the top of this gazebo, there's 3 silver tiers that'll drop down onto you, and they can do a lot of damage if they actually land on you. So let them drop before you go to grab the tier. After that, we're going to kill the Mimic tier boss, which drops 2 larval tiers on death. This boss can be made super easy just by taking off all of your equipment before entering the boss fight. And then once it spawns in, it'll be completely naked, and you can put all your gear back on and just trivialize it. After that, we're heading to Night's Sacred Ground in Nokron. So to get here from the Mimic Tier, you're going to go up the bridge, and then you're going to go through the Ancestral Woods. There's a Site of Grace on the south end of that, and then you can head through the city. It's a pretty simple little dungeon. So you'll see here, here's the Site of Grace. So the enemy that drops the tier is before that Site of Grace. It's this giant ball right here. These things are weak to lightning, so it's good if you have lightning pots or, you know, lightning spells, lightning grease, something like that. And if you want to make it really easy, it's too big to fit through the door here, so just kill the two Night Maidens and then hit it with some lightning pots or something. Now, unlike the other ones, this one drops the tier as an item that you need to pick up, so don't forget to grab it. From Night's Sacred Ground, you can grab the Finger Slayer Blade and turn that into Ronnie, and then she will give you the access to Siofra River Main, and from there you can head to the city of Nokstella, where we can kill a few more giant balls and get a couple more level tiers. As you saw, there was a ball that's going to attack us on the bridge, and there was a ball in the ceiling of this room over here. We can just get them together like this, and then hit them with something like Bloodboon Ritual, or Radahn's Star Scourge Greatsword, Starcaller Cry, or the Stormhawk Axe. And then after that, we're coming up to this room. There's another giant ball on the ceiling. So this thing is weak to lightning, and if you hit it with something like a lightning great bolt, it'll fall off the ceiling. But I just wanted to show you, if you walk into the room, it'll start dripping silver tears that will attack you, and it can drop a whole bunch of them. So you should probably attack it before you come into the room. And then obviously make sure you pick up the level tiers from all three of the balls that you killed. Finally, we head to the Consecrated Snowfield for our final sacred tier. So from the inner Consecrated Snowfield Site of Grace, you can head to the southeast. I have that marker there from previous New Game Plus, but you'll see there's these rock formations that make like a little V, and in the middle of them, you can come over here. You'll find 3 Wandering Nobles. One of them is stuck in the ground like an idiot. So this one turns into a giant bear, and it's a Consecrated Snowfield giant bear, so it's strong as shit. I didn't even bother actually killing it for this video because it's just too goddamn strong. Honestly, if you're desperate enough for level tiers that you need to kill this thing, you should probably just go into New Game Plus and get more of the previous level tiers. But anyway, if you found that helpful, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you later.